You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by none other, almost got there, none other than Ty Capone. Ty, how are you feeling today on this? We are now in June, and it is into the great. We are a week away from the greatest UFC pay-per-view of all time. And Mick Maynard's even saying how great these events that they're putting on are. I mean, what a spectacular...
He hasn't seen a bad card in how long? Years, he said.
Yeah, he must be on drugs, because we see one every week. We break one down every week, and we have another banger to break down that is co-main evented by Alex Caceres and Daniel Pineda. So, not something I'll be building my week or my weekend Saturday around, is watching this filth. But I don't want to get too down to the dumps early on. But how you feeling today?
Pretty good. It's funny you bring up that tweet. Somebody quoted it with just a picture of the fight card for the July 15th card. And man, that one is it's one of the worst ever. It has to be. It's definitely one that you consider bad, even before seeing it. Like, there could be finishes, you never know, but it's just I just saw that tweet on Twitter right after you said that. So yeah, there's definitely some watered down cards. I mean, the next pay-per-view is kind of questionable.
Kind of.
I'm glad we're not getting the fight that was supposed to be headlining it for sure, but I'm glad Irene Aldana's getting her chance. I think she has a chance, maybe a small chance, but I think she has a puncher's chance for sure. Especially if Amanda's not in her A game. She's getting older. 290 is going to be fun. 291 is going to be super fun. 292 is setting up to be really good, and I think they're trying to get McGregor Chandler for 296 in December. So they're trying to really finalize the end of the year. I think make up for some of this lackluster fight cards that we're getting. You know, we got the Ultimate Fighter starting up. I actually liked the first episode. I mean, it still kind of sucks that when you see how much time's left, that you know how long the fight's going to go. And still things like that you're like, you know. I feel like the format, I guess we can talk about it real quick if you want.
Sure.
The format of it just seems very, like, I don't know how Connor's team wins a fight. I'm sure they will, but it seems, you know, Timur Valiev, Hunter Azure, these are guys that have been in the UFC, and they're against, you know, we saw what happened in episode 1.
Yeah, like, and even a lot of the vets or whatever are guys who are young guys who, like, had a rough couple fights in the UFC and got cut. Like, it's not like they're cooked. Like, it'd be different if, like we said, I mean, if Jason Witt was out there, you know, fighting.
I mean, Jason Knight's on there, which is something.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely understand a word he's saying. He might be a little bit different in the vet category. But like you said, Hunter Azure, Timur Valiev, Roosevelt Roberts, they're not like bums. They're not completely
Roosevelt Roberts is 27, 28.
They might be bums in comparison to the actual UFC, but these guys they're fighting aren't UFC, and some of them, I mean, let's just go based off of Nate Jennerman, not exactly UFC caliber. So I guess
6 losses in the regional scene. Probably don't know anybody he lost to, if I had to guess.
No, they did show somebody where I was like, oh, I think I don't remember. Honestly, it didn't really matter because that guy, me thinking about that is going to take longer than his fight on the Ultimate Fighter lasted. Unfortunately, he got cracked early and then he got put out. Like, and then he went out and he woke back up. He's like, wait, I wasn't out. And you see the replay, the guy's head just dropping back. You're like, oh boy, like. That happened quick. Maybe me and my brother watching. We were just like, "Wow!" Like, because we didn't know how much time was left, so we were just like, we just had it on. We were just chilling. And we're like, "All right, here's the fight," and then boom, and he's like, "That's it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." I guess we got to wait till next week to see more of a battle because this was not close whatsoever. But did you find it entertaining at all, or did you like the whole? I mean, I think it's just funny seeing Connor in there beating the shit. Like I think he's basically using this just to beat the shit out of people. and fight because he didn't even show up to the weigh-ins. I mean, it was very obvious when they announced this that Chandler was going to take this way more serious than Conor was.
Yeah, and the sparring, you see Conor's, Conor's putting his all into some of these shots in the sparring, at least. It's kind of cool to see, though. I'm glad it's back. I think there's some definitely, Timur Valiev could be, at least at one point, a lot of people were thinking he could be a ranked guy, at the very least. Same with Roosevelt Roberts and some of the other guys. So it's kind of cool to see them, and I'm sure there's going to be some decent prospects on Team McGregor that win, right? I think that Landon
Has to be.
I think that Landon dude's going to be pretty good. I think he's his first seed. He looks pretty solid. So we'll see. I mean, he's there's going to be some kind of, I think eventually he's going to push Chandler, and I don't think anything's going to really come of it.
Show up. Like, I think it's just going to have a little bit of drama in there.
Dude,
at some point.
How about Ryan Bader being absolutely jacked out of his mind?
Yeah.
Holy shit. He is a unit.
I'm
also,
not
he didn't
sure
get really much screen time.
Yeah, and that's probably on purpose because we can't be promoting Bellator too much. He'll get his little tidbits in there, here and there, but he will not be a prominent factor in this whatsoever. They can't. That is just against the UFC code to give any sort of minor promotion to another company. But yeah, I thought it was fun. It was. I just think this episode kind of people. I saw a lot of people online that haven't really watched it. I mean, I've been on here telling you guys I've been watching it every time it's on. It's just something to watch. I usually watch the beginning, watch a little bit of the training, and then during like the personal stories, I start skipping through a little bit if I'm just there to kind of see what happens. And then I always watch the fight, obviously, but. I think this season, that first episode was a little bit of a teaser for what's about to happen. I just, you can't really do much with a 9-second fight, so they had to do a lot of filler there.
Did Bracatono win the Ultimate Fighter before?
Yes,
Crazy.
not that long ago.
Didn't even know that. He's also another guy that I don't really know what he's saying sometimes. He's kind of crazy. Yeah, They showed him winning the. Also, he trains with Conor, but he's on Team Chandler, so that's interesting. Yeah, they showed him winning the Ultimate Fighter finale, and I was like, "This guy won recently, and now he's back." I mean, that must have been a real shitty season, but this season will probably be one of the more highly rated ones. Hopefully, we get some peak Conor. I don't think we'll get any dialogue like we got with him in Uriah Faber, but it should be fun.
I like how the first thing he says they're trying to be nice, and McGregor just starts, "You'll do as you're told," and like all this just starts laying the groundwork for. At some point, it kind of sucks though. I feel like it would be way more intense if these guys were like actually in training camp and scheduled to fight. We still have no idea when this is going to happen, so
maybe December is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, maybe exactly, and then we're literally hoping at this point because. He's in the testing pool, rumored allegedly in the testing pool now, so we will see where that leads. But you people came here to listen to some picks, and we are here to talk about the card scheduled for this weekend. Kai Kara France, Amir Albazi, main event from the Apex. 13 fights on the card as of now. I don't know if any of these dropped off or if... I
think everybody made weight.
Yeah, and other than Jared Gordon, which that happened earlier, like... sometime in the middle of this week, I guess.
I think so.
Poor, what was this guy's name? Jesse Butler. He they flew him in for this one. But last week, I went 3-6. You went 3-7. I went negative 0.5 units. You went negative 2 units. Just big hit on the Garimbo decision. That wasn't last week. It was the week before. But you know what I'm talking about. We had a rough couple of, just... The Ducote one was a little tough. I had the under in the Falaho fight, and it was a minute off. Michael Johnson just off. We were wrong. And then
he looked good.
Yeah, you had Koski, which really just that's the one that's going to keep you up at night.
Brutal.
Latifi was just an ugly fight. And then we both lost on that Fiore guy who had no. I mean, apparently Chase Hooper turned into prime Anderson Silva on. Last Saturday evening, and then Silva, we were off on that, and the agreement decision. So there you go. Now we turn the page, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this is about. That's the good thing about gambling. You can always get back out there, and there's always something to lose your house on, allegedly. I'm just kidding. Haha, we're having fun. But how about it? Kai Kara-France, Amir Albazi. I believe Mr. Kai Kara-France is the... Oh, well, I guess it's kind of just right down the middle. That's pretty crazy. 110, 110. I couldn't even find a book that would give me a favorite on one of these. I think Amir Albazi is a 2-cent favorite on one of these. So, I mean, this is really right down the middle. Is that the odds you have? It's like, it's really like just straight.
Yeah, pretty much on this one sports book I have. It's 116, 114 with Albazi being
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's the most I'm seeing, which is kind of weird, but I kind of feel the same way. I don't really know who to pick.
No, me either.
I keep coming back to Kai. I think he's fought the better competition. I think he's improved a lot. We saw what he did to Brandon Moreno in the second fight. He had some success against Brandon Moreno in the first fight. I think his cardio can be a bit of an issue. He's gassed out. He's slowed down a lot. I don't think he's that athletic, but he's still, honestly, still pretty young. I believe he is just a little bit older than Amir Albazi. He's fought the much better competition. I know he has some losses, but I keep going back to all of his recent performances. And honestly, the Moreno fight really, that and the Askarov fight, I think surprised a lot of people. I know some people had Askarov winning. I don't really remember too much of that fight. I just remember him not doing anything at all. But even in some of these losses, like both Moreno losses, he was doing good work. The Royval fight, he was doing good work. And he has a split over Paiva. The decision to Askar, like I said, somewhat controversial, but I don't know, man. I think he's really done a good job of transforming his career. I mean, when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, he got smoked by Pantoja, and then he went to Ryzen. He got smoked in the Ryzen, so he's been around the block, honestly. And I watched a couple of Albazi's fights, man. I do like him. I do like the potential he has. I think he has nasty ground game. He hits hard, but going back to that Jose Shorty Torres fight, I think this can kind of go how that went. It was a couple years ago. That was his only loss, but he just pretty much got outstruck, outpaced, outdistanced, outgrappled. I think Kai can keep him off him in the wrestling. I think he has some pretty good takedown defense. At least it's improving. Working with Volkanovski and all those guys has really paid off, and you can notice the difference in his fighting.
Yeah.
Over the years. So 5 rounds, yeah, I guess it kind of concerns me, but Albazi, yes, I've seen him, kind of huff and puff in that Jose Shorty Torres fight. I don't think his cardio is amazing or anything. It took him a while to get Alessandro Costa out of there, but that dude was kind of sneaky tough. But he did lose that first round of the Zumagulov fight. Honestly, if Kai Kara-France shoots on Albazi, I wouldn't be surprised if he took him down. Albazi's defense in general is not great, so I lean Kai Kara-France here. I think the experience gets it done. But he takes some shots. Again, in both Moreno fights, I think he fucked his nose up in the first one, and in the second one, he got hit with that liver shot. So I think he's been hit to the body a couple times, hurt to the body a couple times. So I think could this be Albazi's breakthrough? It could be, but I'm just going to go with the veteran here. I think similar age. They're both improving. I don't think Kai Kara-France. It's not like he's 35 and falling off. So
yeah,
that's my thinking.
Albazi's slightly larger, but not enough to really, I think, be a big factor in this fight. And I really just agree with a lot of what you said based on the track record of strength of schedule. Basically, I think that's a not a huge factor in determining who I'm going to bet on, but when you're up to like a minus 110, 110 battle where it's kind of Vegas really doesn't even know who they like, or, I don't really, this fight is absolutely as even as they claim it is. I'm going to go with the guy who's more experienced, like you said, who's not completely cooked, who has been in there against the better guys, and, a win against Francisco the Sniper Figueiredo is not going to... Alessandro Costa, it's like you said, Zamagulov. These aren't guys, Malcolm Gordon, that I'm going to be like, wow, I can't believe he was in there with them. Even in losses to Brandon Royval and Moreno, he still gets the experience of being in there, knocking out a Cody Garbrandt, which, that for whatever that's worth, but still, it happened. So I am going to go Kai Kara-France as well. I'm going to stay money line. I don't know how this fight goes, whether it's inside the distance or any sort of prop. I don't really like anything as I sit here. I guess we should just talk about what the numbers are here. Albazi is plus 170. Kai France inside the distance is plus 300. That's a good number, but I imagine Albazi will be difficult to get out of there. So I'm just going to stay with my money line bet of minus 110.
I'm with you. I'll ride out with that. Kai France. Money line.
We keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Caceres, Daniel Pineda. What an absolute banger here. This could main event a pay-per-view card if they really built it the right way. Alex Caceres is a minus 180 favorite which is crazy, to a Daniel Pineda. Not in this matchup. I'm just saying in general that he's even favored like that. But to a plus 140 for Daniel Pineda. These guys combined have around 27 losses, which is something you rarely see. But, they have their 48 wins. They have plenty of wins between the two of them. Grizzled vets, you could say. I guess I'll let you lead this one off, Ty. How do you feel?
Well, isn't it kind of crazy? 28 wins for Pineda, all finishes. That's something you don't really see, even with the Jim Millers and the Matt Browns and the Cowboy and Charles Oliveira's. You don't even see that. So
Matt Brown, who Conor McGregor called a heroin addict.
Before deleting
that
tweet, of course. Some of his best tweets are when he first wakes up, man. He's got some good thoughts on it in his
the best ones are the deleted ones. He really tries to hurt some feelings.
Him and John Jones, man, they really have a Hall of Fame of deleted tweets. But I don't know. I don't know what to think of Pineda here. I think he's truly kill or be killed. He's very inconsistent. He looks a lot different. His fights go a lot differently. You look at his physique from when he was in the PFL to now, there's a noticeable drop-off. He was one of the first PFL drug busts, if you will. Both of his first-round wins were overturned. And those were both good wins, too. Movlek Kabalayev and Jeremy Kennedy, those are guys who don't really lose that often. And for him to finish both of them early, that Kabalayev guy, he knocked him out. He kicked him once in the leg and like 30 seconds in. So Daniel Pineda must have been on some serious stuff. He did look good his last one against Tucker Lutz. He got him out of there like he was supposed to do. Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy. He's interesting, right? I honestly thought he used to stink. And I think he did used to stink. But, that loss to Kron Gracie, that split to Guan Wang, whatever that dude's name. Remember, Jason Knight smoked him. He actually had oddly enough, had a competitive fight with Yair Rodriguez all the way back in the day. But then he's come back. He had uninspiring wins over Chase Hooper and Stephen Ocho Peterson. Kevin Kroom, your boy, also beat him. But lately, the head kick of Julian Erosa, that was nasty. He's been grappling a lot more. He hasn't been winning some of these grappling matches, but that used to be a real weakness that you could just, take him down and kind of just slice through him. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, anything. That used to be a real... he has 7 sub losses.
Yeah.
So he has 7 sub wins, though, now, too. So, and then obviously getting a head kick knockout over Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa on any given day will lose to anybody, just like he'll beat anybody. So, but also the rear naked choke over Sungwoo Choi. So, the only recent loss he has is Sadiq Youssef, and I think he was just very, very outmatched in that fight. He was such a big underdog for a reason. So I could kind of see him getting this win here. I don't really know what to think of either guy. I kind of get inconsistent performances from both of them. I guess Caceres being the favorite. I guess that makes sense. I would probably favor him to somehow just get it done. Kind of keep Daniel Pineda off you. But if Daniel Pineda blitzes him, goes after, I think he could probably get him out of there early. But the cardio is going to be a real issue. He's like 30. He's not young. Neither guy's too young, but I think Caceres probably wins the decision. I have no action.
That's where I'm going back and forth between Caceres decision and Caceres TKO. Those are the two that I'm going. So if you can play that like double result and maybe get something that's plus money, then I would probably bet that. Usually on FanDuel you can get good numbers on stuff like that, but. If you said decision, you would really think that? Because I have a tough time. I don't think that Pineda is going to get subbed, right? Like I think if you look, I think he's only been subbed twice in some of the most recent promotions that he's been in. I just had the numbers up, but I lost them. But I have a tough time.
I think he might just get outworked.
Yeah, I think he probably loses a really, like you said, unanimous or maybe probably unanimous decision if I had to really give my opinion on it. So I think I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
And I am searching for the best number, and the best I can do here is Caceres plus 255 decision from Bet Rivers. So,
shout out the doc.
Yep. No, thank you. And that is my pick for that. So we keep it moving. Jim Miller. Jesse Butler is the next fight. Jesse Butler, I can't speak for you. We both have no idea who the hell this guy is or what he does.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I do know Jim Miller. He has more losses than Jesse Butler has fights in the professional ranks. So this guy has been there, done it, seen it all. He's a minus 250 favorite in this fight. 275 as high as on some websites. I guess... Really, what do you think here, or what is your lean? Do you have anything you could possibly weasel out of play here?
Maybe a Jim Miller decision. I think that could be a sneaky play. Depends what the prop is, what the odds are. He's 39, right? And honestly, he has aged well. He has really handled himself. For somebody who's fought the guys he's fought, been around for as long as he's been around. I mean, let's see. When was his first UFC fight? What card was it? I mean, he fought at UFC 89, and we're almost 200 past. We're 200 past that. About to be, right? Is that 289 this weekend or coming up, or no? We're at 290s coming up. So he's 200 main pay-per-views past his debut. So Gray Maynard, Mac Danzig, Tyson Griffin, Gleason Tebow, Charles Oliveira back in the day. He knee-barred Charles Oliveira in the first round. He's seen pretty much every style there is to see, from the Cowboys to the Chiesas to the Takanor Gomis, the Dustin Poiriers, the Anthony Pettises, Oliveira when he was young, Oliveira when he was older. I don't know what this guy. I mean, on a short notice, maybe he can surprise him, right? We've seen random things happen on short notice. We've seen random things happen in the UFC all the time. So, but this Jesse Butler fella, he's fighting out of West Monroe, Louisiana. You know how I feel about Louisiana fighters. Not the smartest in the world. He does have a bunch of submissions. So, it seems like his strength is going to play right into Jim Miller's game. Jim Miller's been working on his hands lately. This guy has been knocked out, Jesse Butler. He has a bunch of decision losses. So, maybe a sneaky vet lesson happens here. I'm not sure what decision is. I had it up, and then I didn't have it up, so...
I can't find it on anything.
It's not real. Doesn't exist.
You know what I mean? It's not a real fight, I guess. So that's unfortunate, but I don't know. I guess I would say...
maybe it's Jim sub?
I would say Jim sub or Jim decision. I would lean maybe an inside the distance, because maybe he ground and pounds him, because this guy just gasses out, because he's probably taking it on short notice. Well, I mean, probably. He is taking it on short notice, and we don't know what kind of shape he's in. It really kind of sucks. Smart thing. Best thing, honestly, for us is that this fight doesn't even have really odds on it, so we can't even bet it. We should stay away from it because we don't know anything about the other guy.
I think that's a sign we should just shut up and dribble.
But I might lock in here later on, and you might see a tweet fire off at around 6 o'clock on Saturday night after I've had a couple surf sides, and I'll say, listen, I'm taking Jim Miller inside the distance. Well, you'll
first round sub.
Yeah, read that in that voice. So. Yeah, but that's a smart thing, I guess. So good for us. Tim Elliott, man, got to feel for Tim Elliott. He's going through a rough patch in that man's life. Guy's wife left him, cheating on him with his best friend. Everyone
everybody's in the UFC
has turned their back on him. Is Gina Mazzani still in the UFC?
She's actually in BKFC. She's whooping asses.
Yeah,
she's 1-0.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have lost my house if I had bet that fight. Because I would have faded the shit out of Gina Mazzani. But I guess, when you take Gina Mazzani down, that's when things start to go downhill, I guess.
All right.
He's starting. I'm sorry. Tim Elliott is fighting Victor Altamirano, which I think this is a fun fight. But Elliott's the favorite, minus 180, 170. He's going to bring some anger, some aggression into this one. And Tim Elliott likes to get hit and just keep walking. He does not really play good defense, you could say. And
pushes a hard pace.
Yeah, he really does. And sometimes that melts guys. I don't know if it's going to melt Altamirano. I guess my instinct would be Elliott, but I don't know if I'm going to have anything here.
I'm just reading his quote on why he addressed his divorce on social media. Let's see. I'm trying to see if he says anything funny. He's a funny guy.
Oh, he's a funny guy.
For him to tweet that is something. I would be very mortified. But I think I read somewhere he has this new training camp, and I'm not really sure who they are, but they train in this mansion, or they live in this mansion together, and they train kind of secluded. So it looks like he's focused. He's in good shape. So, I mean, listen, we saw with Mackenzie Dern, she got a divorce, and she came out like a top 5 fighter on the planet, like fucking a firing wrecking ball. And I did not. I thought she'd come out and have a dull performance because she's put them in. She's had them before. So, a divorce or personal life issues may not mean anything.
Yeah.
The fade divorce train is 0-1. So I think it might go 0-2 here. I don't love Victor Altamirano. I think he could win this fight if. I see a path to victory because Tim Elliott
fights like a moron, basically, which he tends to do.
He does. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this quote. I guess they're still dating. That's something. Are you going to corner Kevin Crew in his next fight? I guess not. I don't think that's happening anymore.
I hope not.
So he's very exciting, very unorthodox, awesome scrambler, tricky subs. He's not really a play it safe guy, and I feel like this is a bet where I want to pick him to play it safe. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
that kind of gives me some pause here. Victor Altamirano. The problem I have with him is he accepts being on his back, kind of doesn't really get up, can get controlled, keeps his hands down. He has this tendency to dip his head to the side and dip down and out to the side. So I don't know. He's done it in almost every fight. It seems like, spend enough time on that, you can time a head kick. And we've seen Tim Elliott do that before. So I do like some things Altamirano does. Good ground and pound, good kicks. His takedown defense is just he has good offensive wrestling, but he has no really defensive wrestling. So I think Tim Elliott has him covered here. He is getting older, so I think that could be an issue. And again, outside the cage stuff, who knows? Who knows where his mental is? But it seems like he's in a good place. I can only assume by the interviews he's giving and whatnot. He has a new training camp, so I'll take Tim Elliott here just to win. I don't really have anything on it, however.
I am going to take a shot down the field here. This is my first shot down the field of the night, and I think Elliott's going to come out with something to prove here, ladies and gentlemen. He's angry. He's gonna try and let the people know that what they did to him was wrong. I mean, there was a picture of him, I believe, Kevin Kroom, Gina Mazzani, and James Krause. We didn't even mention the fact that his former head coach turned into Jimmy the Greek in the middle of his career. So you gotta consider that. And
he's going through a lot.
He's going through a lot now. He's living in a mansion. He's fighting with people all day. He's training all day. So I think you're going to see the best version of him. And I think Elliott just, even before this, he's been relentless. Even in fights that he was overmatched, he just kept going. I mean, this is a guy who, what his first UFC fight was against Mighty Mouse, wasn't
Demetrius, yeah.
Which is insane.
I
he won the
believe
Ultimate Fighter and got a chance.
Had some kind of success against Mighty Mouse.
Well, early in the fight, I think there was some sort of, either he shot for a takedown or something, and Elliott got like a guillotine on him, or he had like a hold where it was like, whoa, like he actually it was a little scary because Mighty Mouse was untouchable at the time. I mean, he's still incredible, but at that point in his career, he was literally. They were creating Ultimate Fighter shows to try and find somebody to fucking oppose this guy. So I'm gonna go Tim Elliott inside the distance plus 375. I think that number is fat enough that I could make up for some L's that I may take along the way here on this Saturday night in Vegas, baby.
So it's interesting you look at Tim Elliott's takedown numbers. He gets a takedown in pretty much every single fight. The Ben Wynn fight he did not, but he lost in 50 seconds. And other than that, he's got a takedown in every fight. Other than that, John Dodson, his debut way back in 2012. I mean, John Dodson's a tough debut. So took down Luis Smolka 12 times. he's pretty much getting sub attempts in every fight. Tim Elliott. I'd be interested to see what his sub line is. You said inside the distance was plus 3 something.
Sub is plus 500. You can get as high as plus 650 on Bet Rivers. Bet Doc Rivers. That's what we're gonna call it from now on.
I don't know if I want to trust that guy.
Come on, I'll pay you.
Yeah, I don't know if I can trust him. He hasn't got a TKO in a while. But I'm gonna tail inside the distance. I want to take sub, but I'm not gonna play around here. I think he's gonna come out and make a statement. You've convinced me. Tim Elliott inside the distance. Let's get it.
Let's both lose.
And he's gonna call out Kevin Kroom in his post fight speech. Kevin Kroom is a big guy. I think he might be able to beat him. However, I'm rocking with Tim Elliott.
Yeah, Kevin Kroom didn't have a great run in the UFC, so. Let's keep it moving though. I don't want to. I kind of feel bad for that guy.
He's got some good ground and pound. So.
I mean, poor Tim Elliott, man. That's a rough go at it. But how about Karine Silva and Ketlin Sosa? Karine Silva, who fought Chuck Norris at one point, if you go through her Tapology page. I don't know anything about Mrs. Sosa, which she has a nickname which I'd like to hear you try to pronounce.
Yeah, I will.
Esquentandina.
All right.
I can't wait to hear Joe Martinez kill that thing on Saturday.
Esquentadina. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It was easier the first time,
bro. That's what
it was easier the first time.
So minus 225 for Miss Silva against Mrs. Sosa. Sosa making her UFC debut. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming off a big win against Christina Williams in Invicta. I know you were you had her money line that night, which was a good pick for you. She has a lawsuit, Ariane Carnelosi, so we know her.
She got beat pretty badly in that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, she beat the shit out of me, so I don't ever hold it against a woman for fighting her. What do you really like anything here? I mean, this number's kind of a little close to more even than I thought it would be based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Ketlin Souza, it seems like she has a lot of finishes, but lately she's got some her last 3 wins have been decisions. I think that's no coincidence with her stepping up in competition, right? I mean, the girl she was fighting before that, 0-0, 1-0, she lost by leg kicks to a 4-1 chick, 2-2, 4-4, some chicks she's beaten, and then she stepped up to fight a couple chicks in Invicta. Christina Williams, very tall, skinny, just like a very not really great fighter, and she went to 5-round distance with her. So the fact that she couldn't finish a couple of them, maybe it's worrisome, but she did go 5 rounds. And Karine Silva, I saw, she's had some cardio issues, so that could be a factor in the 3rd round if it gets extended. Karine Silva, a bunch of fights. Her nickname's Killer for a reason. She's got a big size advantage here. I think all of her wins are by finish. 8 KOs, 7 subs. She's fought anywhere from 115 to 135. She fought Marina Moroz back in the day at 115 and lost. So she also lost to that Marina Maknatina girl from Bellator. She got knee barred. So her losses aren't bad on the regional scene. And I think when you take into account that she's fighting at 125 now, she dropped Poliano Botello into a takedown into a Darce. That was nice. And her regional scene fight, or contender series fight, was a bit back and forth. Like I said, she got a little gassed in that fight, but she got a nice guillotine. Her subs are good. Her head kicks are good. Her hands she's wild, but she has really good hands too. So this seems like a violence fight. Both chicks are kind of similar in ways. I just think Ketlin Souza, she also has good kicks. Pretty slick off her back with submissions as well. She went 5 rounds at elevation, so I think maybe that could be an advantage for her. I got Karine Silva, though. I think she's going to finish her inside the distance. I'm going to take the under in this fight, just straight up, because I think it's going to be violence. Under 2.5 is minus 120. I'm going to take that.
Minus 120, you're saying?
Or, I'm sorry, I got this fight doesn't go the distance at 130.
Minus 130.
Yes.
I like that. I'm gonna take that with you. I was literally in the process of looking for that on FanDuel, and I couldn't find it, and you found it for me. I like that, though, seriously, because I don't really know what's going to happen here, but I have a feeling somebody's gonna fold. I could see a Silva decision too, but I don't trust her to not finish her and the other girl to not just roll over and let her get finished, shot out. But so Silva not to go to distance. That's a little long of a thing to write in the book. I forget how to write, but that is minus 130, and me and Ty are both going to take that.
FGTD, baby.
FGTD. We're going to start using that more often. Shout out to Escadinha, and we are going to keep it moving. I just butchered that too. But Jamie Malarkey against one of your good friends, Muhammadjan Naimov. Naimov's making his UFC debut. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that right, Ty? You talked to him earlier this week to see how he was feeling.
The Hillman. He fought in the Contender Series against Colin Anglin and got beat up. He looked pretty good in the first round, honestly. Pretty quick, threw some nice little low kicks, but after that he was breathing heavy. He
looks huge for 45.
He's a big boy, yeah. He's cut too. He's the Hillman for sure. But then he lost his follow-up fight to Olivier Murad, also at 145. I'm not really sure what happened there, but 3 in a row. I guess he hasn't really fought any great fighters, but he has a split over one of these guys. So I think Jamie Malarkey takes care of him. It might be dangerous early on, but I think Jamie Malarkey, second or third round, is the play here. Is this even? Yeah, there that is. It's something I would stay away from because Jamie Malarkey does like to get hit.
Can't be trusted.
He cannot be trusted. Jamie Malarkey in round 2 is plus 400. Jamie Malarkey in round 3 is plus 900. I kind of like a stab at that in round 3. Something small though. I think it's something I might do. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, they don't have it on here, which is very annoying.
Colin Anglin almost finished him in the second and the third, so I think that's he's gotten older. He's gotten like you said, he's at a different weight class now. He's at 155, so I think that could be a factor. But Malarkey just seems he's got more tools in his toolbox.
Yeah, inside the distance is minus 135. Him to win by decision is plus 2. I don't really like anything here, so I'm going to stay away. Like, no number really jumps out to me. But if you could get like a end in the third or something, and maybe you want to, Malarkey wins in round 3 is plus 1,000 on some of these websites, plus 600. It kind of bounces around. Maybe if you want to just play a little bit with that, if you need something to bet on, but that's just not fun. That is a fight where, like I heard the Big Cat out there talking about like when he's going to the movies or something, like during like big time like days in like college football, he just bets the unders and like just locks it in and like so when he's not watching a game, he doesn't have to root for people not to score. And that's like one of these where like if you're not going to watch it, just fire in a Malarkey third round bet and then check it later and hope it wins. Watching this would be an absolute sweat and it would be basically unbearable. So. But I'm going to stay away. So are you right? Yeah, I believe you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play. But how about Mr. Zaleski Dos Santos? But he does not have Dos Santos on his name here on Tapology. He is fighting.
Just Zaleski.
Yeah, he's just Zaleski. He is fighting Abubakar Nurmagomedov, a member of the Nurmagomedov family. I'm sure he's related somehow. Maybe he's not. No, but he actually is. I do know. I think he's his cousin, if I'm not mistaken. But they have a lot of cousins, so you never know. Mr. Abubakar is the favorite, barely though, minus 115 to Dos Santos' minus 105. I have never been impressed by Abubakar whatsoever. Omar Gatsiev, he looked good in that fight, but I don't know, man. The Zawada triangle choke was not a good look. That was a little bit ago, but Abubakar seems like the one brother that's not in shape all the time for these fights, and he's fighting at 170. He's a big 170, but I watched Zaleski Dos Santos beat the fucking brakes off of Benoit Saint-Denis, and I have a lot of respect for Mr. Saint-Denis. I mean, he's getting older. Yeah. These guys are essentially the same size, so it's basically a choice of who you like more. Do you think you think Abubakar is going to take him down? I guess how do you see this fight playing out? I should ask.
I feel like Abubakar, his only real advantage here is wrestling, and even then, I mean, we've seen him get tapped out on top, right, by David Zawada in his UFC debut. And David Zawada's low level, man, and he had multiple sub attempts in that fight. Yeah, he took down Jared Gooden once. He took down Omar Gadzhiev once. But, those are two not good fighters, man. Bottom of the barrel. And, his striking isn't great. He's like that Russian Coast type of fighter, which just absolutely very boring to watch. He has gotten better since his PFL days. I don't think he was really good at all. I didn't think he'd even make the UFC. But the thing about Zaleski, the only thing that gives me pause here is it has been about a year and a half, maybe ish, since he failed that drug test, or he had that PED suspension, the USADA suspension. So yeah, that kind of worries me, especially at his old age, right? Brian Ortega got popped for PEDs when he was 23, and he came back looking better than ever. So I think when you're older, I think it's there's a reason you're taking some of this stuff. But he's a black belt on the ground. He has that capoeira style stand up. He's kind of like the underground violence king, I feel like, Zaleski. I mean, he has some of the. I mean, that Saint Denis fight was insane. He probably committed a crime in some countries in that fight.
Yeah, that
or
was
at least
ugly.
the referee
definitely
did. The Lee Zhang Liang fight, that didn't really go well. He got dropped 5 times. But remember that Curtis Millender fight? He was an underdog against Curtis Millender, and he came out here and just ran through him like butter. The Vendramini flying knee. Remember what he did to Sean Strickland back in the day? So he's done some things, and sneaky good sub game. I feel like if he is the same fighter he has been, I feel like he should be the favorite. So I'm going to take Elizeu Zaleski here, money line. I feel like he should be better everywhere. He should be the better round winner if it does go the distance. Maybe he gets taken down in the 3rd round or something, and the round gets stolen from him. But I think honestly, he should be able to get a finish here. I trust him much more than Abubakar, no matter even post USADA.
So we got -105 here for the money line.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I'm with you as well. I should go out and proclaim that because I don't trust Abubakar, and I just like this number, so I am going to ride with it. I have a good feeling this week about some of our picks, so that means we probably going to get cooked. So I'm sorry, Ty. I'm sorry for tailing you on some of these, but it's unfortunate. How about John Castaneda getting back in there against... Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Muin Gafurov. That's right. Gafarov. Sorry. Close enough. Tajik getting back in there from Tajikistan. He just coming off of a big win at LFFA. Only one F against Diego Silva. Chad Ellinger. I know you. And Hellinger. Jesus Christ. So there you go. And he's got a loss to John Lineker. So I guess tell me something about this fight because I have nothing.
Well, apparently before the Contender Series fight, Mr. Gafarov was very ill and wasn't training until 2 days before. So
sure.
If you watch the fight, his cardio doesn't look great in that fight. He was doing some good work, and then Chad and Helliger, I don't rate him very highly. He's kind of underrated good. He's you look at him, you're like, oh, he's absolutely awful, and then you're like, oh, he's okay. He'll beat some lower level guys, but he's not very good himself, and it was just a weird kind of scramble back and forth fight. It was kind of close, but I think Gafarov got tired. Other than that, he throws some spinny shit, which could be good, could be bad. I just I kind of like Daniel. I kind of like John Castaneda. He's a D2 wrestler from Minnesota State, the home of Adam Thielen and David Backus. If you are familiar with those two gentlemen, he went there for a year. He went there for a year to wrestle, and yeah, I mean he's pretty good. I mean he has a great nickname, Sexy Mexi. I love it. His fights in the UFC have been kind of back and forth. Already made his debut against Nathaniel Wood, tough debut, lost that one, and the Daniel Santos fight, he was doing good. He had Daniel Santos rocked twice in the first round, badly due to 2 nice head kicks. So he also has a good straight left from southpaw. Good wrestling, good ground and pound, good scrambling. He'll get hit a little bit. His cardio, that never seemed to be an issue. I mean, in the Miles Johns fight, it looked great, but then he fought Daniel Santos and it looked terrible. So he has a little bit low output, which is kind of an issue, but he also has some regional scene experience. He fought on the same night multiple times, so you know how they get down there in Combate. They throw tournaments together back to back to back. So I kind of like John Castaneda here. What do I like specifically, you ask?
Yes.
I think I'm just going to take a money line. I think I could see him getting him out of there. I like his southpaw style, his hands. Again, kind of low output, but I do like when he goes forward. And I like his wrestling game. I think he honestly might be able to have some success in his own wrestling. So I think that might surprise Gaffarov and shut him down. I got Castaneda money line.
Minus 125 for Utah. I am going to stay away from this. I don't like anything, but I would lean to what you just took. I don't trust Mr. Gaffarov, and I did like what I've seen from Castaneda, even in that loss to Daniel Santos. So that's that. How about Daniel Santos? No, not that. I'm just kidding. Andre Arlovsky and Don'Tale Mayes, ladies and gentlemen.
People's main event.
People's main event. Don'Tale Mayes just lost me. I'm sorry. Some money against Augusto Sakai. I don't even know. I think you did. You take that?
I think I had Sakai.
You did took Sakai because you're not an idiot. I took Mr. Don'Tale Mayes, and he looked like a flailing polar bear in the octagon, and it was ugly. It was 100% ugly. Andre Arlovsky is about. I mean, this man is about as cooked as you could possibly get, but he's still out there just, grinding it out. He just got rear naked choked in 1:50 against Rogerio de Lima. But, I mean, he's still getting in there, man. He had a 4-fight win streak before that. He lost to Tom Aspinall. He went around with him. He's got, all of his losses are against really good guys of recent. So, you really can't hold that against him. He beats anyone that's really below him, and I think Don'Tale Mayes is below him. I'm not sure if he gets it done here or not, but he's the underdog here. So I mean, what the fuck do I know? Minus 110. I'm sorry, plus 110, plus 115. Don'Tale Mayes is minus 140 here. I refuse to take Don'Tale Mayes. If I'm not taking Arlovsky, I'm sitting this out.
Yeah, I think I have to take Arlovsky just by principle. I mean, Don'Tale Mayes has lost in pretty much most ways you can lose, right? You lost to Hamdi, your boy Hamdi, by a split, and now it's a no contest because Hamdi was on all the sauce. It turns out. Can't say I'm surprised there. Sakai decisioned him. Mr. Nascimento rear naked choked him. Cyril Gane heel hooked him at the very end of the fight. That was so random. When he lost by illegal elbow in an RFA event. And he got ground and pounded by Alan Crowder. So he's really just had a mixed bag of things happen. He gets finished late. It seems to happen a lot to him. His fights just aren't good, right? Even his win over Josh Parmesan, that fight sucked. And then he finished him late in the third. The Roque Martinez fight went the distance. Was kind of close. So I think I got to take Arlovsky just by principle. I mean, he's 44. He's 23-15 in the UFC. With a one no contest. 4 of his last 5 fights have went to decision. 2 of them have been splits. He's gotten a split with Jared Vanderaa and Jay Collier. Like, he's starting to fight low-level opposition, and he's starting to really put on uninspiring performances. I mean, the Philip Linds, Tanner Boser, Chase Sherman, Carlos Felipe, he couldn't finish any of those guys. So it kind of gives me some worry, but man, Don'Tale Mayes is like really bad. He's got all the size and he's got 80-something inch reach. Do you remember when Snoop said he wasn't invited to the gang fight?
No. Was that on the Contender Series?
It was at 277, I believe, when he fought Hamdi, or it could have been on the Contender Series when he fought some guy that it took him into the very end of the first round. I thought it was at 277, and because it was in Vegas, and Snoop said he wasn't invited to the gang fight, which I thought was just the ultimate disrespect that you could get while you're out there fighting for your life. I think that's got to tell you all you need to know. I got Andre Arlovsky money line. We'll see how that gets us, but
I'm with you on that. I'm taking Arlovsky money line. caution people and tell them, don't bet this fight. Stay away from this.
Yeah, please don't.
Seriously, I'm not kidding. You need to get away from this as quickly as you can. But I am going to take Andre Arlovski plus 115 as well. So, we keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. We have Daniel Santos. That's right. What a callback. He is back. Johnny Munoz Jr. What are the line here? We have Daniel Santos is a minus 225, 220. Johnny Munoz is plus 180 here. I was not impressed with Johnny Munoz the last time out, or the Tony Gravely fight where he got finished in a minute. So I guess, Ty, I'll ask you, why shouldn't I bet Daniel Santos?
I guess maybe because there's kind of a slight market overcorrection, right? He was plus 178 in like both of his UFC fights. He does have 2 fights, right? He lost to Arce and he
beat Castaneda.
The Arce fight was kind of close, and then again he got rocked early by Castaneda. But man, he's exciting. He's got a pretty good chin. It seems like, recovers well. Very risky. He takes a lot of risk, but he's got very tricky jiu-jitsu. Very good jiu-jitsu, very good scrambling, quick hands, good 1-2, good kicks, knees, elbows, kind of mixes it up. I like him a lot over here. I don't like Munoz really much. I think you talked about it. Had an early loss to Tony Gravely. He got back in the win column against Ludovic Shalinian, but that guy's pretty low level. Same with Jamie Simmons. Like, I don't think any of his wins are really good. Nate Maness, tough debut, but he easy loss. He was supposed to fight Gravely on the regional scene, I think, and Draco Rodriguez. So none of his wins on the regional scene look great. So I think I have to take even money Daniel Santos inside the distance. I think he gets it done. Hits him with something, a knee, an elbow, gets him to the ground. Maybe he gets a sub, maybe he gets ground and pound. But either way, I think he's got him covered here.
I like that, and I think I'm going to tail Santos plus 100 inside the distance.
Tail or fail.
Because I like that anyway, and I was hoping you would say exactly what you said, and then you did say the thing that I wanted you to say, which is always inside the distance.
And I always like to bet an inside the distance, ladies and gentlemen. So
Yeah, you do.
Jin Frey, which she looked absolutely jacked on the weigh-in scale. She is fighting Elise Reed. I've had my future, Jesus, my past with Elise Reed, where I have.
I don't want your future with her.
No, thank you. I've lost plenty of money on Elise Reed, and whether I'm betting against her or for her, it seems like whenever I fade her, she likes to have a biblical performance and take out a Corey McKenna or a Melissa Martinez, an undefeated
Super
Melissa
Melly.
Martinez. She goes and takes her out, or she gets subbed in the second round against Luma Luke Buname.
In a fight where she was doing well, too.
The instinct was Jin Frey here, and she's the underdog. So why is she the underdog?
Well, she's older, right? She's like 38, 39. And that last fight really, really swayed a lot of people. I mean, if you're fighting at 115 as a woman, and you're getting finished within a minute against Polyana Viana, people start asking questions, right? I know I do. Vanessa, she has a loss to Vanessa Demopoulos. It was a split, very close. I think even her fight with her wins against Gloria De Paula, Ashley Yoder, 2 low-level fighters, but I think they were close. The Luma Luke Bunami fight was close. She got triangle armbarred by Kay Hansen. Shout out to OnlyFans. She's like a decision fighter. It's just all she is. She kind of has some moments of success, and then she gives it away, right? She's very untrustworthy. Elise Reed, I don't really know what to say about her either, because she's kind of the same way. She'll definitely take advantage in spots like against Sam Hughes she got smoked by Sam Hughes against Corey McKenna, where Corey McKenna just wasn't ready. Melissa Martinez wasn't ready. I'm guessing Jillian DeCourcy, Jasmine Jasuda-Fishis, they just weren't ready. I think she's just really a litmus test, right? Sajara Eubanks smoked her. Sam Hughes smoked her in the third. Luma Luke Bunami ran through her in the second. She seems like it's just a get right fight for some ladies. I don't know. It's such a bad fight. I have nothing here. I think I would take Jin Frey. I think I would have to take the dog in a fight like this, but I'm definitely staying away. Listen. I make bad fights and make bad bets all the time, but I'm not adding this to my list.
Neither am I. I'm going to take Elise Reed. Well, I'm not going to take it on the card, but I would take Elise Reed.
Okay.
Plus 135.
I think that's fair.
135 is the number that I'm seeing here. So.
Oh, she's the underdog. I'm seeing Jin Yu Fry's the underdog.
No, yeah. Well, I said plus. I meant minus. I'm sorry. Minus 135.
Oh, okay.
My
gotcha.
bad.
I mean, it could be lined as an even fight because I just don't.
They're guessing. They're 100% guessing like we are. Nobody has any idea what's going to happen in this fight. It's
and nobody cares. Really,
nobody really cares. Truly, this is I mean, a lot of these early fights are pretty garbage. Luan Lacerda, Damon Blackshear. I believe we were just talking about Damon Blackshear not all that long ago. I think he fought. When was that? In March? Yeah, he lost to one of the Bosharats. And what is the line here? We have plus 118, 126 for Damon Blackshear. Luan Lacerda, the Brazilian native, is a minus 146 favorite. He's coming off a loss to Cody Stamen in January against the Teixeira and Hill cards. So, I don't really like anything here either. I like Lacerda, though. So, I guess, I don't dislike either one of these guys, so I don't know if I really have a lean here.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I feel like Blackshear's kind of had a rough go at it. He had that draw with Zalal, and then he lost to the worse Bosharat brother. But I honestly don't know if he is worse. I think they're both pretty solid, but they're
both good.
They both might. Right. If one of them gets more hype than the other, I don't know. It's kind of like how I feel about the Charlo brothers. So I think Blackshear is really good athlete, very explosive when he does things. It just sometimes he has some late finishes because he just doesn't low volume, low output. Very good scrambler, very good jiu-jitsu. I know Lacerda's got amazing, awesome Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Elite sweeps, elite transitions, good wrestling himself. But I think Blackshear's got he's got an athletic advantage, and he's fought. He went to the distance with Sabatini, Sabatello, and Chris Matinho. Lost to all of them, but he went the distance in the regional scene. Had another split loss. Fought Alan Cruz, beat him early in his career, and they went to the fourth round. So I think he's better than maybe his UFC career has gone so far. I feel like he's going to win a UFC fight or two. I don't know if it's going to be this one. Luan Lacerda's, he's got a Muay Thai base, heavy kick game. Doesn't really throw much, goes to the body a lot. I feel like that fight with Cody Stamen was pretty close. I think he might have lost, but it was a lot closer than you thought. I think at the end of the second round into the third, he started doing some good body work, doing some damage to the body of Cody Stamen. So I think this could be an interesting fight. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to watching this one. I think I'm going to miss it, but I'm looking forward to watching it on replay at least. I think it's going to be a good fight. I don't think Lacerda's hands are great offensively or defensively, but I don't think Blackshear's are either. So I think it could be a very split decision either way. I'm going to stay away, but I lean Luan Lacerda.
Felipe Lins, Monstro, versus Maxime Don't Call Me Forrest Grishin getting in there. And Felipe Lins coming off of an elimination of OSP, right? Is that correct, I think? OSP and them thick cheeks that he's got. Maxime Grishin is a minus 135, minus 140 favorite over Felipe Lins, who is plus 110, plus 110, plus 104. Pretty much floating around at plus 110, but do you like anything here? I would lean Felipe Lins. I don't really trust either one of these guys, and I think I've liked Felipe Lins since he's kind of seems like he's just in much better shape than he has been in the past couple go rounds. I think did he used to fight? I mean, he has a couple fights at 265 or at heavyweight.
They both do,
right? Okay.
Christian's fought light heavyweights before. I think that's a lot of his losses are two heavyweights, or at least earlier in his career, right? I think he had early in his career, I think he was losing some fights to heavyweights, moved down, was winning a bunch of fights, and then he ran into Magomed Ankalaev on the regional team, and that's just, that's a tough go at it for anybody.
Yeah.
He went to the fourth round with him, has a bunch of wins. I don't know how, impressive some of these wins are, but he did go to the PFL. He has fought in M1, S70, the Fedor Emelianenko Cup I'm sure that's invite only. I'm not sure if me or you can get invites to that. The Sochi Tornado Cup. So he's fighting. He's kind of fought everywhere. I don't know the validity of his opponents or these organizations, but I mean, I got to respect him for going all across the world and fighting pretty much whoever. Taking on William Knight. Good win for him in this last fight against William Knight. But he's getting old, man. He's like 39. He is bigger than Philip Lins, but Philip Lins isn't young himself. He's 37. But training an American top team, like you said, he's probably in better shape lately. Getting OSP out of there quick, beating Prochnio easily. He's had a bunch of canceled fights. He did lose to Tanner Bozier. Got finished early in the first, but that was at heavyweight. So I think this could be a different version of him. I'm not going to take anything. I'm going to stay away. But if I had to take anything, it would be Philip Lins, money line, small shot. But yeah.
Joe Lins is almost 38.
Yeah, crazy. I thought
it doesn't seem
for
like
some reason I thought he was
old.
30.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like he was just more younger in the game. I am going to take Lins on the card. Not confidently. I just think I can't leave the first fight out there and not start on a negative or a positive. I'm seeing plus 115, so that is what I am going to take personally. And plus 110. Felipe Lins money line. I just think Christian's going to. I mean, not only is he old, he's fought like 50 times. So it's like at some point that has to catch up with you, especially fighting in events like the Fedor Emelianenko Cup, which, you're right. I did not get an invite to that, which unfortunate. I don't know if I would have attended. It seems like Russia's a little bit of a sketchy area. But
yeah, I'll say.
So that is UFC Vegas 73 from the Apex. We have a big UFC card, not big, but it's a pay-per-view card next week. So we will be excited about that. Is there any boxing to really get into this weekend?
I don't believe so. I think there's Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor in 2 weeks.
Okay.
That'll be a good fight. There's PFL coming next Thursday, and if you look at the card, you're like, damn, I wonder if any of their guys got suspended recently. They did. They definitely did. Marlon Moraes is getting back in there, and so is Impa Kasaganai. And that's just, I guess that's the state of the PFL right now. Brennan Loughnane is the main event. Good luck to them. They've had some a lot of news, a lot of pressers, a lot of news lines come out, but they haven't had any fight cards, PFL. So it's good to see them getting back on track at least, or trying to. I saw there was rumors that they were going to buy Bellator, which would be huge for them. I mean, that would turn them into the only other super giant or giant in the MMA organization pool other than the UFC. So if they can do that, they should. Other than that, though, no, there was some boxing over the past weekend. Mauricio Bronco Lara got beat by Lee Wood. Not a big upset, but he did knock him out in their first fight just a couple months ago. And now this fight, he loses pretty much every round. So that was kind of interesting to see. It seems like Clarissa Shields is fighting this weekend.
Yeah, she's.
She has a bunch of belts.
You didn't mention
the GWOAT.
You didn't mention Mick Conlon going to sleep again.
Mick Conlon, yeah, that didn't. Luis Alberto Lopez taught him a nice lesson in his home Belfast.
They gotta stop doing them fucking Ireland cards, man. This guy just goes in snooze mode every time he's fighting over there. It seems like.
Yeah,
and he's been knocked out like ugly. Like the last 2 times I've seen, like any highlight I see of him, it's him getting put to sleep, and I'm like, oh man, Mick, this
Mr.
Connor's. You won't see Connor showing up at those fights anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna back you anymore. You're getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. You're boom.
You're a
some
boom.
People win, some people lose. You lost.
All right.
So not this weekend, but next weekend, Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez on ESPN Plus from New York, and Jaime Munguia and Sergey Derev-Yanchenko from Ontario, California. Didn't know that was a real place.
Yeah.
But Jamie Munguia, pretty much his whole career has fought nobodies, and he's like this big middleweight that everybody was trying to push for a while as the next Canelo, and it just never worked out. But now he's fighting Derev-Yanchenko, who, other than his name being very hard to pronounce, he's just a tough, tricky fight. He was tough for Triple G. So that should actually be a pretty good fight. The weekend after, Regis Prograis is getting in there. He can see himself get a title shot against Devin Haney, possibly. with a win here. Tim Zhu the next weekend, Edgar Berlanga, Jason Quigley. And then it's kind of like, nothing big until the end of July. That's when it really gets popping off. Stephen Fulton, Nai Inoue is on a Tuesday from Tokyo, Japan. Can't wait for that. And then the following weekend, we have Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., Nate Diaz, Jake Paul the weekend after that. So, not the same stratosphere of boxing, but big fights nonetheless. And July is going to be big for the UFC. So July is going to be I think UFC has 2 pay-per-views in July, right? The International Fight Week and then the 291.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple big boxing matches. It's going to be a good July, good August, pretty much good summer of boxing and MMA. The sun's going to be, beaming down here in Florida as always. So
Shout out.
I'm excited for July. I'm excited for the schedule of July and how it looks.
And you'll be rooting on your Panthers, who will be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup. So
That should be fun. That should be a
fun.
good series.
There's plenty to going on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back Monday for a new episode to break down everything that goes down this weekend. Hopefully we all win some money. Whether you're going to fade us or not, I hope you do make some money. But if you fade us, I hope you don't make any money, to be honest. But, I hope you enjoyed listening, though. And I hope you listen again next week and maybe take our picks and make yourself some money. So that is the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast, the podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney.
This is Ty Capone, Dramatic Pause. We will see you next Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. We're going to be hungover one of those days, 2 of those days, maybe all of those days.
Man.
It's been rough lately, but we will be back. Peace out.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.